year, but no, but year, but no, but year, but no, but year, but no, but. I'm Spike.
I'm Kel.
This
I don't
is
know what that was, Spike.
yeah.
Um,
And I'm Amanda. I'm sorry we're late. I fell asleep.
There's a
uh,
character in a very old TV show called Little Britain, and it is
mhm.
a chav woman. And she has this whole thing where every time she talks to people, she basically says, yeah, but no, but yeah, but no, like 15 times before she actually says what she means. And it sounds like, yeah, but no, but, year, but no, but, year, but no, but, like that.
Okay.
Yes. And now you
Um,
know.
those of you who also watch my stream for Geek Show got a little exciting preview that was Spike and I singing.
Oh no, I'm glad I
We were
wasn't
like,
here.
We got
Amanda
to
is not
sing.
here, so we can sing.
Yes.
And
I see the
uh,
joy that's experienced in my absence.
Yes. Yes.
we
Uh,
just know that it causes you pain.
yes, no,
So
it's
Yeah.
fine.
But
No,
where
no,
we
no.
left off in this
we
conversation,
were talking about Spike really likes my lesbian experience with loneliness.
yes, and the follow
Um,
up books too. Um, let me see if I there have been multiple ones. I think a lot of people know about my lesbian experience with loneliness, but few know about the follow up books because she kind of just keeps going. Her
um,
name, yeah,
the the there was one bit in my solo exchange diary that
yes,
I didn't like for completely personal reasons.
fair enough, fair enough.
That were there's the part where she's talking about like her mom being a bad mom.
Hmm.
Um, and then toward the end, she's like, "Oh no, my mom isn't a bad mom. I'm the bad one." Um, and I
Yeah.
was like, "No, I didn't want to hear that." Uh,
Yeah, I
because at
like.
the time I was having issues with my own mom. It's like, no,
Yeah.
you're allowed to think that your mom is bad.
This is actually
Two
making me
things
think.
can be true.
Yeah, there's actually
Yeah.
this actually makes me think. I actually shared a video, the Iron Circus Slack, where all the work gets done. It has a random channel because sometimes you got to blow off steam, and I'll post things there like, "Have you ever seen an elderly marmoset?" Link. But another thing I posted recently is a YouTube video of a woman who is like the head of a estranged parents network, and it is like, holy shit, there is this thing some people do where they make literally everything about their feelings. And the best way I could boil it down for folks is, imagine you go up to someone and you go, "You killed my cat and you burned my house down. I can't believe you did this. I'm so disappointed. I'm never speaking to you again." And their response is, "Well, that just makes me feel horrible." And they expect an apology. Like, that is the tier this woman is at.
Um,
She has a very common experience, I think, among estranged parents, which is, she was Trumpy. She was extremely Trumpy, and she continued to be Trumpy long after any rational human being has an excuse to be Trumpy. And she opens the video with, "So my daughter just sent me this really angry, emotional, irrational letter. And the letter is just, it was just so crazy." And she talked about how we don't even know where this came from. She just talked about how she refused to talk to us as long as we supported, a certain president. And I just had no idea she felt this way. It was just
Yeah.
so unreasonable. Like, really? Really? Are you going to sit there and pretend that you genuinely had no clue she felt this way? Like, there's a difference
Yeah.
between you not knowing she feels this way and you not caring she felt that way. And from the sound of things, it was the latter, not the former, dude. You know?
um, but you describing that makes me feel bad.
Oh.
Like thing
That
Uh huh.
reminds
reaction,
me
yeah.
of the guy who wrote Rent.
Uh
He
Oh
wrote a
no, we're talking
musical
about Rent
before that.
huh.
again.
No, we're
It's
talking about a different
inescapable.
musical. He has a different musical that he wrote before Rent, and in it there's a song called "The Therapy Song," where the lyrics are, I feel bad that you feel bad that I feel bad. It's
Mhm.
and it's him like in couples therapy, and so it's a duet between him and his girlfriend, and it's a lot of the lyrics are like, if I knew that you knew that I knew that like
Yeah.
Yeah.
uh
God, like
it's a very funny song that's also extremely catchy.
being able to just stop and reflect goes such a long way, because
Yeah. Yeah.
like I have like a bad relationship with all of my parents. However, oh, I had. However, me and my mom have been on the mend, and it's something my dad has never been
Bothered with.
able to be chill about. He's like, I don't understand why y'all are so cool. It's like, because at one point she said sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That's something he's never done. So it's like, well, I mean, you can't, you got to start from somewhere, and we can't start till you say sorry. So,
And they're
bye.
and a lot of adults, sorry, not adults, parents. A lot of parents are actually really, really against the idea of ever apologizing to their children.
Well, it's not for him specifically. Not to turn this into therapy hour. For him
No, go for
specifically,
it. Shit.
um, it's he genuinely there's something cognitively going on.
Oh.
Um, because again, I haven't spoken to him in years. I just talked to my siblings, like the one sibling who still talks to him. And he still acts extremely oblivious. Like, I did everything right.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're gone. And it wasn't until my stepmom left him, and I say left him, but they divorced. It wasn't until they divorced that he was like, he said something to the lines of like, oh, yeah, my wife was pretty bad, wasn't she? I guess I could have stopped her from being a bad parent. It's like,
But you didn't.
but it's also like, that's not the problem, you idiot. You're also the bad parent. Like, what the fuck,
Yeah.
man? So yeah, there's people like that. Like, there's a willful ignorance there. It's just it's
Oh,
not
yeah,
even
yeah,
I could say sorry, but I won't. But there's a part of them that just compartmentalizes everything and takes that part and puts it in a little box. It's there. They kind of know it's there, but they've put it in the box. They don't think about it ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not a there's definitely a lot of people who know they did wrong and they are just bold-faced lying, but there's some other people who have like lied to themselves so good that they will look you in the eye and go, I just don't know why we don't talk.
Yep.
And they'll kind of
Pretending
mean it
nothing
in this
happened.
weird way.
Yeah. See, on my end, my mom's whole thing, and like I don't talk to my mom like at all, but my mom's whole thing when I was like actually trying to give it a fucking shot for a while was I'd bring something up. It'd just be all like, hey, remember that time we were like in the car and you tried to hit me and you broke your hand trying to hit me because instead of hitting me, you hit the seatbelt buckle and you had to wear a cast for a while. What'd you like tell people you did? Like, you're telling the truth, you know? And she would, every like response to something like that would be something along the lines of, well, I guess you just had the worst mother in the world. And it'd be one of those things where it's clear, like now I am going to be expected to comfort her. And it's like, no, we won't be doing that. I won't be going, oh no, I didn't say that.
See,
I
and there
didn't
you go.
know."
Right there is the illustration between like bad parent, no hope, parent who did bad things, and there is hope, because my mom did bust my lip open in the car with a backhand.
Yeah.
And it's when I was able to bring it up later, she's like, I'm extremely sorry, blah blah blah. You know, it's a she was like, I am personally disappointed, and it was like, okay, I believe you, etc. Anyways, chat, I'm sorry we were late.
Apologies. We are not
I
perfect
was
people.
no, they were fine. I was in bed.
Hush, we are all not perfect people. And
Because
we all get a mulligan. We all get a mulligan.
The reason I was in bed was the hours I should have been in bed. There's like a 5-hour period that FedEx was supposed to be dropping off my replacement credit card. After the one yesterday they dropped off, they put on the sidewalk outside my apartment.
And it got stolen.
Within the 20 minutes, they sent me the photo of it on the sidewalk outside. And I was like, oh, shit. And I ran out 20 minutes later. It was gone. Yeah. And because on the phone, they were like, we can't prevent that. I'm like, what do you mean you can't prevent that? Well, we can't drop it off somewhere else. We got to give it directly to you. But if they can't get in the building. And I'm like, what do you mean? They can call me. They can do anything.
But that's effort.
So I just had to make sure I was awake during an hour I was supposed to be in bed because of my goofed up sleep schedule. Mm-hmm. And of course, it got here at the very, very end of that
Too bad one of your ugly little children didn't wake you up.
My rats?
Your rats or your cat?
She did. It's just she didn't wake me up for this. She woke me up like an hour ago, but like the kind of cat no, and then you go right back to sleep.
Ineffectual waking up.
But yeah, no, I've been stressed because I have been cashless because my debit card and my credit card both got hit by 2 separate incidents of fraud within the same week. So they both got shut off and replacements sent to me. And
yeah, and you said you had a theory that it got skimmed when you were in DC for SPX.
Yeah, because one of the charges was some dude in Maryland did that thing where they'll try to charge a card for like $1,000 and that doesn't go through, so then they drop it to like $500 and that doesn't go through, so then they drop it again just to see what they can pull. And my card, the company was like, hey, that's not normal, and then they just shut it off. No money, like in terms of actual money, no money has been taken from me. I'm fine in that regard. But now it's like, oh no, my cashless life.
Yeah. I actually, the last time someone tried to scam my credit card, I was extremely proud of myself because I am a paranoid person. I won't get into why, but I'm extremely paranoid about the state of my money, kind of at all times. I mean, to the point where when I was dating Matthew, I would have nightmares about.
I know that guy.
Yeah, this is before we got married, and I would have nightmares that I would open up my bank account and all the money would be gone, and I would ask Matthew, what happened to my money? And he would just kind of shrug and be like, I spent it. I'm like, whatever, it's not a big deal, I just took all your money and spent it. Why are you even asking me about this? Like, those were genuine nightmares, like wake up in a cold sweat nightmares I would have.
So tempted to talk about some internet drama. I won't, but I'm so tempted.
Type it. Type that shit. Type it now.
I will type it. Yes. Okay.
I'll be the gauge. I will be the no that perhaps will quell your soul.
Yeah, we'll see.
Or the yes, but probably the no.
As a result of
I forgot about Croot, Scoot, and Boogie.
My intense trauma, because of my intense trauma, I had a habit of part of my daily.
Oh yeah, we cannot talk about that, but holy shit.
Part of my intense trauma is, part of my morning rituals is I get up, I have my tea, I do the whole, hose myself down, and then I sit in front of the computer and I check the Iron Circus and my personal accounts. And one day, when I checked my personal account, I noticed an online order for like $500 worth of very expensive cigars. And I caught it so early. Whoever ordered them never got them. And of course, the card was immediately shut off because I caught it maybe 35 minutes after they made the charge. And I just called them up and I was like, yeah, whoever did that ain't me. And when you do that, they don't question you. All right, cool. Well, we'll get your card canceled. That card number is now no longer valid. Please do not use that card. We will overnight you a new card. And I was so fucking proud of myself that I wasn't that bitch, that I wait until the statement came at the end of the month and some idiot would be going hog fucking wild on my card.
You can't have my earring, ma'am.
I was so paranoid, and it helped. It worked. It's one of those things that reinforces all my paranoid, bizarre behaviors because it worked. So why would I stop doing it?
Y'all have heard y'all. I'm not repeating it here for all these reasons, but y'all know the reason why I had a bad credit score. when I was
Yes.
18 and had never had a credit
Yes.
card.
Yes.
So, like, I completely understand. It took me years to bounce back from that.
Absolutely.
I don't have any trauma like that.
Mm-hmm.
Ex- um, all times when my money was stolen, it was a check in the mail rather than my credit card.
Yeah.
And then the but I also check my money every day. So
Yeah.
that's even not even a paranoia thing. That is a like, how is my bank account looking?
Ooh,
Like
ravioli.
I picked her up because
I,
she's really obsessively trying to search for an earring I took away from her. Because I wear clip-on earrings, big fat ones, and she just is fascinated with them.
Good lord, your child is so poorly behaved.
She's just yelling because I'm holding her. I put her down. But yeah, no, I really want to get my ears re-pierced. They closed up ages ago, and I want to wear earrings.
I might let my ears close up.
Oh,
Yeah,
not feeling it anymore.
it's just like, I'm not a person who changes my earrings frequently.
Right.
In fact,
Me
I
neither.
frequently sleep with them in.
Same.
So right now they're just silver studs. My right ear, for whatever reason, is prone to infection.
Oh, still?
Well, like the piercing never gets infected now, but like I have 2 piercings in my left ear and 1 in my right ear, and that is partly because my right ear got infected and closed up so many times that there's actually too much scar tissue in the bottom of my lobe, so I can't have a second piercing where that scar tissue is.
That's why I have that. That's why I technically have piercings, but I don't. I say they closed up, but really it's scar tissue. And it's like if I get my ears re-pierced, I think they're just gonna have to punch the holes through those.
They can punch holes through scar tissue. They can do that.
But I'll end up with a bigger hole.
So the thing is trying to find earrings I like that can withstand just staying in my ear at all times.
I mean, they have hoop. You can get. Do you like hoops?
Well, I was looking for stuff that's on brand. So
Stretch lobes.
No,
Stretch,
like little ones, like little
stretch,
rings.
Lobes.
Spike,
Stretch,
stretching lobes is so high maintenance in the beginning. Kel would never.
Stretch
no.
Stretch lobes.
That's too
no,
much
they
effort.
do rule. Spike, I also if it weren't like I also want them.
Pierce your face. Stretch your lobes.
You are talking to someone who never had a goth phase because that's too much effort. Like, that's literally the only reason why I never was into like goth stuff, is because that makeup is too much effort. I never cared enough about makeup, period, to make any sort of statement.
Same.
And cleaning my piercings when I first got them in middle school was almost too much effort. So I'm not going to pierce anything else simply because effort.
Everybody listening, everybody watching this show right now, everybody, stretch your lobes and pierce your face and get tattoos. Just do it.
Spike, I'm saying this as someone who has done 2 of those and wants to do the third. All of those things take. Well, Kel does have tattoos, but piercings are different. Yes. Especially stretching your lobes. I tried. I started, and then I had to stop. It's one of the reasons I have the scar tissue, is because I started. I followed all the instructions, and I still had an extremely bad reaction. So
you know what that makes me. There is actually a woman that I wish I could remember her name. There's a woman I follow on YouTube who does like body mod stuff. And for folks listening, oh my God, like I got into body mod stuff in a pretty serious way. If I say BME, like maybe 3 of you will know what I mean. But like back when BME was a really, really big force on the internet and the Pain Olympics were a thing, and just, oh my, I fucking loved BME. But there's a woman on YouTube who, it was great. There is a woman on YouTube who does like sort of tattoo and piercing and body mod commentary. And she got a full back piece. And she's one of those folks who was very fastidious. She did a lot of planning. She's reserved all that real estate, didn't put anything on it because she knew she wanted a great big beautiful cohesive back piece, and she did it. And because the human immune system is a piece of shit, she, despite being fine with every other tattoo she's kind of ever had, that one big back piece triggered a bizarre localized immune response. And to this day, it's like achy and weird and scarry. And she says she can literally feel the tattoo on her back. Like it's a foreign body her body is trying to get rid of. So, yeah, I get the caution.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So yeah,
No.
so I found these silver earrings that were like a silhouette of a wolf howling,
Uh huh.
but like they got caught on my shirt and
Oh.
then like bent because they were so like flimsy. And then I found these other wolf earrings that had like a wolf head carving, but the carved part fell off the stud part like a day after I wore them. Like, I just can't find decent wolf earrings that aren't gonna break if I sleep with them in.
Yeah, the sleeping with them in is really the thing that's always
Yeah.
gonna catch you up, because that's a bad idea.
Nope.
Says the woman who sleeps with her glasses every night.
Oh my god, same. I fuck up and sleep falls
I
with my
just,
glasses
I
so
can't
often.
do it because I can't see if I take them off, and I'm not gonna be asleep the entire time I'm in bed. I need to see the world around me up until I fall asleep. It's a, I need to see. God damn it.
But yeah. So I'm just like, maybe I should just let them close up because I'm not doing anything else with them.
Do follow your heart. Do what your heart tells you.
My
Well,
heart is telling me that maybe I should close them up.
So my plan, because I still want my lobes stretched. What I kind of want to do is I want to do the thing that's going to make whatever, because I want to go to responsible piercer, a tattoo artist, and I'm gonna do that thing that, like, and I'm like, look, no, look me in the eyes, I want you to punch a large hole in my ear. Look me in the eyes. No, I know that's not you. That if you're a responsible piercer, that's not something you do. But look at me. I want it. Punch a big hole in my ear. Do it.
But yeah, I think that I should read the text message I got from my trainer for everyone who wasn't here before Amanda.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So I've been training at the gym with a trainer for the past year, and he canceled last Thursday because it was his birthday. So I gave him a manga that is published by Seven Seas that I had not read, but I knew it was about working out. It's called How Heavy Are Your Dumbbells?
Oh yeah, that one.
It is a lot pervier than I thought it would be.
Congratulations.
And to the point where he opened it up and it was immediately like a crotch shot of a girl. And then he texted me right before the show, this manga is hilarious. Whoever wrote it did their research because it literally teaches you correct form while being extremely lewd.
That's
so
cool.
It's pervy jokes to trick you into working out.
Yeah.
I think it's very funny.
I also am reading, and I don't want to talk about it on here. Like, explicitly don't want to talk about it because I don't want to talk about it with anyone who hasn't read it. But all I will say is Emily Carroll has a new graphic novel. It is called A Guest in the House. And I urge you to not read any reviews and just buy it and read it.
I don't roll like that.
And that is all I'm going to say. You should buy the new Emily Carroll graphic novel, A Guest in the House.
No, thank you.
Oh,
It's horror.
okay. Would you like to borrow my copy?
It's horror. I probably don't want it.
I, I, I think you'd like it.
Are you sure?
I have a strong
Amanda doesn't
suspicion you would like it,
like
Amanda.
horror.
You're gonna
See, here's
make me
the
fucking-
problem about spoilers. There's this is your chance to like tell me like something that would make me go, okay, maybe this one. But
Amanda,
you
But no,
refuse
I
to
will
do
type
it.
something, okay?
Okay.
Speaking of horror,
And here's like also
Um,
I might like it. It's just I just horror as a singular genre for a product just usually it's just eh. Like I like Junji Ito, but that's because it's like the visuals are fucking bonkers. Like I can appreciate it separate, but like I never
There.
find it scary.
There, Amanda.
Why is that? Why would that sell me on it? I don't understand. How is that a selling point for me?
ladies, that's giant
That's
ladies.
still
that's
not
why.
a selling point.
I thought you liked that. Oh.
But it's horror. Is it not horror? Are you telling me it's not horror? It's
If
like two
you're
genres.
asking if there is gore and blood, no.
No, I'm at.
Amanda's asking if it's scary.
No,
I do
I'm
not find
asking.
it scary at all.
Is the part that you're linking meant to be scary, or is this basically a two genre book? Okay, let me type what I mean.
None of it is really meant to be scary.
Okay,
it
that's what
feels
I've been.
like.
Okay, then.
So-
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, let me not type what I'm saying to avoid spoilers.
This is such an exciting video for people to
I'm sorry,
um,
everyone. You should borrow it and read it because it's good.
Like,
so
that's what I'm saying.
speaking
This
of
is why
horror-
telling me these things is important because it's like, as far as I know, this is a scary book, and those usually bore the shit out of me unless the visuals are bonkers because I just don't. I don't know. They don't work on me. Okay,
so,
see.
spe-
Now I do want to read it. You butthead.
yeah, you should have just said it was romantic.
Why are you all saying it out loud for these people?
Because that is basic premise stuff that is not a spoiler.
Yeah, I mean, there's other people who might not want to read it, and now hearing it's not just straight horror, it's got romance in it, will make them go, oh shit, now I actually care. You know what I mean? That's me. Look, there's people out there who are like me who go, oh, it's horror? I mean, maybe I'll give it a chance.
You're
and then hearing
bad.
this makes me
And
go,
you're
oh, then I
bad.
definitely will. Yes, Spike, I will borrow it from you when I come to your apartment and you let me inside.
I don't
Spike,
like any of
the
you.
way you just tried to pitch this book reminds me of how this one sci-fi movie was advertised called The One I Love. And every promo thing that the actors did was like, oh, it's about a married couple whose relationship is on the rocks, and then I can't tell you anything else. And it's like, well, you didn't tell me anything interesting, so I don't know why I would see this movie. When in the first 5 minutes, the plot is that the house that they go to work out their marriage has a guest house that's making perfected copies of them. So, like, it's about how they interact with not just each other, but their weird, what they wish their partner was.
So I understand not wanting to spoil something, but then there's like, you've buried the lead so much, you have basically not even advertised to your intended audience.
Okay. I thought, people who are familiar with Emily Carroll should know about his face all red and so forth. And
No, I could believe me, I understand, but but because of that, the assumptions I have with Emily Carroll's work, which I think is beautiful, but just doesn't do anything for me thematically. It was sort of well, then if it's just like that stuff, then I think I'm good, Spike. You should have just
his
led.
Face all red. I love his
It's
face
very
all red.
pretty.
It's cool as shit.
So
it does nothing for me.
Speaking of horror, tonight is a full moon.
Oh,
So
okay.
my server, yes, so in my fan server, we watched werewolf movies on the full moon. So right before Geek Show, we
Mm-hmm.
watched what is my favorite werewolf movie called When Animals Dream. Um, and it's my favorite because it's a slow burn without getting to the frustrating when do we get to the fireworks factory type
Mm-hmm.
thing. A lot of werewolf movies that try to do a slow build, get to the thing is we know the characters are werewolf, just get to the point. Like get
Yeah.
to the point where they eat people. And when animals dream, the way reason why I like it is it opens with her in the doctor's office because they're checking to see if she has quote unquote the same illness as her mom.
Mm-hmm.
Um and her mom is like catatonic in a wheelchair. Um and so it's she is never told like what they're checking for. So she is just like experiencing this weird body horror shit and knows it is somehow tied to what made her mom catatonic but doesn't know like any of the details and everyone refuses to tell her and it becomes clear that like the whole small town knows what's going on with her except her. Like
Hmm.
so it's building up like tension and paranoia and also body horror stuff um that in a way that you don't get out of most werewolf movies.
Yeah.
And then she eats everyone that's mean to her, and then fucks her boyfriend while
Yay!
Wolfie, and does not eat her boyfriend. And he's totes
Yay!
cool with it, and they go live happily ever after. After she eats all the assholes in her hometown.
Yay! What a nice story.
I always
Yeah.
like it when the monster woman does not get punished or demonstrified in a movie. Like that's how
And it's
you.
yeah, they're kind of using the werewolfism as like a metaphor for like women being too like independent because her mom's not catatonic because she's a werewolf. She's catatonic because they did something to her to make her catatonic because she was a werewolf. So it's like
Yeah.
if
So
you found out your mom was lobotomized.
yeah, so I figured that's where this was
Look
going.
who's emerged from the pile of laundry.
Yeah. I just think it's like
Missy.
this is kind of one of those FedEx Arrow things where you
Mhm.
notice it the first time and then you can't not notice it. And that is like the running theme of women who have supernatural or like special space powers or mutant powers or witch powers or what have you.
Yeah.
Them being depowered as an important element of the story and
Mhm.
it almost being treated like the thing that needed to be done. And
Yeah.
I like when I was a kid, not like young, but like 13, 14, 15. I had one of those kind of like baby revelations that kind of got me started down the path of being deeply annoyed by this always, which is in God, I think it was the Sword and Stone, the Disney movie
Mhm.
with Merlin. Um so he was Merlin the Magnificent, but she was Mad Madam Mim. And Mad Madam Mim needed to be stopped. But
Yeah.
Merlin's cool. And I
Spike.
fucking didn't like that.
Spike, I'm saying this as someone who had a childhood crush on Mad Madam Mim. Mad Madam Mim was a public nuisance.
No, she was rad.
She was rad, and I liked her
She
for
was rad, but
being
she is
a public
also
nuisance.
fucking up people's shit.
Yeah,
So
like
was Merlin.
no, not the same.
It's the same.
No, not the same. Again,
Maybe
I'm
she's
saying,
like that because people treat her like shit and call her insane.
but we don't know that.
I'm happy to assume.
Spike, I'm also here sitting saying, please don't make her misunderstood. I like her for being a piece of shit.
Yeah,
That's
me
her
too.
appeal for me. Don't give her a tragic.
Yeah.
No.
And I honestly empathize with just being in the corner, being insane, and just being like, that's cool. Like,
Yeah.
whatever, fuck you. It's like, I liked her a
Um,
lot. And the way she was just like, okay, cool, I'm killing you now. To the little boy, I was like,
Yeah,
yeah.
that might be a reason. I'm just saying, people are
Uh,
cool with her. And
Spike,
Hurt
not cool
people,
with her,
hurt
but
people.
cool.
Hurt people,
Spike,
hurt
have you
people.
read The Once and Future King?
I have not.
So the source material validates you.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
hey.
does.
Because while she is still an antagonist, um basically Merlin's like, yeah, you trespass. Don't go on her shit. Like,
Yeah.
let her go be crazy on her own. Like, don't trespass and she'll leave you alone. There's
Yeah.
a reasonable solution, you stupid boy. Like,
What are you doing in her fucking house? Yeah.
yeah, basically. Um get out of her yard.
Exactly. See? Yeah. Anyway, it's a thing I've noticed. I'm not saying it's like even common these days. I'm just saying
No,
it's a
it happens. It's just you
No,
picked
yeah.
a
it's
bad
super
example.
common. That's
Yeah.
like every X-Men lady's main story is
Yeah.
about her
Yeah.
going crazy and she needs to be like
Stop. Yeah.
depowered in some way.
Yeah, it's a thing I cannot help, but it's totally FedEx arrows for me. When I see it, I just kind of do the sigh. Like, because of fucking course, she can't be allowed to remain powerful, and she can't be depicted as being cool, sensible, or accomplished
None
in
of the
those
things
powers.
Madam Mim was. Also, she
They
did.
are,
She kept her power. She just had to fuck with being a sick dragon for a while.
yeah. It's just like they had to be
For trying to eat a
depowered for
child.
their own good, for the good of humanity. They're not allowed to be powerful, and it's like, okay, I see you, and that bugged the shit
Um,
out of me.
the Once and Future King is really homoerotic.
Okay.
When reading it, I was like, this is why Disney didn't make the sequels. Because there is no way around how homoerotic Arthur and Lancelot are.
Also,
Yeah.
wasn't that movie in there like our budget is like what we have in this shoebox and what my cat is manages to bring in off the street?
Maybe? I don't know.
By the way, if anyone here wants to have a good time, just go ahead and go to Wikipedia and look up all the animated films Disney has canceled. You will probably be really sad about at least one of them. I know I am.
I used to do that, but I've gotten over that since I realized, oh, that means they didn't fuck it up.
Yeah, yeah.
They didn't get a chance to
I mean,
ruin
I've
it.
heard about Terry Pratchett's conversations about a Mort movie.
Yeah, they were gonna do a Mort movie and then it didn't happen.
Yeah, and when I hear why, it's like I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah. And in a way I am too. But the one that gets me is, I think I've talked about it before. It's
King of the Elves.
There you go. Yeah, King of the Elves. And I don't think they do it well, but part of me just kind of, like, when I was younger, I went and watched Hunchback in theaters just because I sat there as like, okay, this I gotta fucking see. How do they turn Hunchback of Notre Dame's the Hunchback of Notre Dame into a fucking Disney movie? How do they do that? Because if you're familiar at all with the novel, you're just like, what? Why would you even choose that
They just
one?
made it its own thing, and I love it very much.
Yeah, they basically just like ignored.
It
a
is
huge
also
parts of
the
it.
only Disney movie where the villain talks about how much he wants to rape a woman.
Yeah, and I have to admit that's a fire ass song. That's a good song he sings.
It is a good song.
Hard
it's
on,
just
huh?
wild that it's in a Disney movie.
Dark fire.
Have you
Hey,
heard
quit it. Quit it. Quit it. Quit it.
have
Beat
you
you with a
heard
newspaper.
the cover that's by a lady that
I've seen like 5 different female covers.
Okay.
They're all extremely horny.
Well, the song's extremely horny.
I know, but the people covering it know that, and they're playing it up even
more. And they're
more.
leaning into the
They
horny.
are 100% leaning
That is
into
honestly
it.
my favorite Disney song, Hellfire. I love that one.
Spike, have you
all the songs in that movie kick ass?
seen or listened
Except
to the
one.
soundtrack of Hades Town?
I have not.
Okay. The guy who is Hades in Hades Town has an extremely deep voice, and then I found out that he played Frollo in the Broadway version of Hunchback of Notre Dame. So him singing Hellfire is like, what if Tom Waits sang Hellfire?
That sounds pretty good. But
Ravioli.
Also,
Don't ravi.
Hades
Okay,
Town is
fine.
good, and I
Sorry.
can send you a slime tutorial, Spike.
yes, please send me a slime tutorial for Hades Town.
Ravioli is a menace. She's so fucking big now. I just sorry to distract.
Yeah.
So
But
I've had her cat carrier in storage because I haven't needed to take her anywhere, and I took it out. I was like, I can make this a temporary bed while I clean her old bed. She can't fit in it anymore. She's huge.
oh, I just want to just go real quick through why I'm disappointed. The one movie I'm very disappointed Disney didn't
Yeah.
make. So first of all, it's a Philip K. Dick story, and if you read at all, you're
I
probably
don't
like,
read.
"Oh shit! Oh
You're-
shit!" Philip K. Dick is a sci-fi author of significant renown, and he is known for being really fucking off the wall. There was a period where, like, he went to the dentist. The story goes, he went to the dentist, and they gave him gas for the pain while he was being worked on, and it did something to him, and he went insane for like 5 years, and he wrote like his best shit in those 5 years. This is the story. It doesn't sound
They
plausible.
poked him right in the brain.
He
Yeah.
also did a lot of drugs in those 5 years, so it
Yeah.
might have been all the drugs.
Yeah.
You sure you got
yeah.
a cat and not just like a well-disguised raccoon? I mean, she could be. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure there are raccoons that have like what's it
But
called?
his story King of the Elves is really good because it's an old story. It's like mid-century, and this was back when writing like his was not something you could find easily, which I feel it's a lot easier to find this kind of style of writing today. But the general idea of the King of the Elves is a gas station attendant kind of lives in this nasty ass dilapidated gas station that, like, they built a highway so everyone just passes it by now. This is
How
like
do
a
you say
big
that?
thing in the fifth.
Is it Lucism or Lukeism?
What?
When an animal, a pale variant of an animal, it sometimes makes animals white or blonde.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Albinoism?
Yeah. No, it's different. Albinoism is different. Because someone said, "Oh, are you sure you didn't get a raccoon instead of a cat?" And I was like, "Well, she could have been the thing that makes a raccoon blonde, and I couldn't remember what it's called, and then I did, but now I can't remember how to pronounce it. Here, I will copy paste it."
Okay. But yeah, he lives in this shitty gas station, and like he has no friends and no one to talk to.
He's friends with his neighbor.
Okay, all right, but
which is important for later, so you can't.
For
Yeah,
for later.
Why are we in the
one day
channel
while
we're
he's
in?
like chilling in his shitty gas station, and this is a big thing in the 50s, the fact that like the highways like Route 66 and whatnot were being built across America. Basically, before then, people, like, there were a lot of towns that subsisted off of like travelers.
Lucism.
But now that there was
Lucism,
a
thank you.
highway, people didn't have to stop nearly as often. So a lot of small towns died off, or the trade to them died off. And this is the case for this old gas station guy. And he's just in a shitty gas station, and he looks outside and he sees elves. And they're like standing there in front of his gas station. And he goes outside, and the elves are like, "Yo, can we stay here? We've been badly routed by some trolls in an epic fantasy battle, and we need your help." And
their king is injured.
Their king's very injured, and the gas station guy goes, "Yeah." And they put the king in the gas station guy's bed, and he kind of just like leaves them to it. And the next day, by the time the next day rolls around, he has talked himself out of him ever seeing elves. He's like, "No, that was fucking."
Well, the king dies, and they tell him because of his generosity, he is now their king.
Yeah, exactly. But what?
And then he talks himself out of like seeing elves.
Well, no, what happens is he's all like, "That's stupid. That didn't happen last night. It must have been a dream or something." And then he goes into his bedroom, and the elves are literally still there, except the king is now dead. And before the king died, he told the elves, "This gas station guy is now your new king. Do whatever he says." And the elves are all like, "Yeah, we plan on fucking obeying our deceased king. You're now our king. You're our king of the elves, and that means you have to lead us into battle against the trolls. And by the way, the leader of the trolls is your neighbor."
Well, again, you're jumping the gun.
Okay.
Because they say you're the king of the elves, and you have to lead us against the trolls, and then they disappear, and he talks himself into thinking that that's all just a dream, and then he tells his neighbor, and his neighbor's like, yeah, that sounds like a pretty fucked up dream.
Mhm.
And some time goes by, and his neighbor, who was his friend, tells the whole town this crazy nonsense man thinks he's king of the elves. So then the whole town starts to like shun him,
Mhm.
um, because they think he's a crazy person. And then the elves come back and they're like, "Hey, the king of the trolls is your neighbor, so you
Yeah.
should kill him."
And an
So
important
the betrayal of the neighbor coming before he learns that is important.
yeah, and it should
Um,
be noted that the way the story is written and the way everything is like structured and like how the elves appear and when they appear and so on and so forth, um, you are never actually sure if they're real. Like they could very easily be like the hallucinations of a lonely old man. So you never get confirmation if they're real. There's no like cathartic moment at the end where everyone sees the elves. So the it's like it's a very good, strange, interesting,
and
well-told story.
well, then because of the elves telling him his neighbor is the king of the trolls, he
Yeah.
kills his neighbor.
Yes,
So
that is
the
the
thing
bit. Yeah.
is he a crazy man who just killed his neighbor for no reason, or is he the king of the elves and his neighbor was really king of the trolls?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, who knows? Like you are not given a positive answer. And I would have been curious to see what Disney would do with this film because I'm pretty positive what they fucking wouldn't do. You know,
I
I
figure they would have just confirmed that the elves and the trolls are real. So,
I would have hated that
um,
so much.
yeah, but I figured that's what Disney would have done.
Oh, absolutely,
Um,
absolutely. And then like the troll neighbor would have died in one of those Disney ways where he like falls, and so it's
yeah.
not really anyone's fault.
That or he would have like shown his neighbor mercy or some shit. Like,
And reformed him. Me, 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 me.
and I think I know the reason why they dropped it. Um, because around that time is when Disney decided they don't want villains anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, well, like modern Disney movies, that is
Whatever.
true. There aren't
Yeah.
villains in them.
Yeah, like what
Like,
okay, like do what you want, Disney. Jesus.
Sometimes there's a twist villain.
but for the most part, there isn't a villain.
Yeah.
Like, um, or the character you think is a villain is really misunderstood. Like that's why, um, Elsa in Frozen is not actually a bad guy. You have in Moana, the goddess just wants her thing back. Um, and then this is basically the whole thing is like no villains, just misunderstandings.
Yeah.
Well, that not just
Um,
necessarily misunderstandings, but also just like the onus is on personal growth.
yeah,
These are internal struggles far more than external. They just have external components,
yeah,
which I'm not against.
No, I mean I'm not
yeah.
against that either.
I'm not
But
against it. I just think like I miss villains.
Yeah, and the only
That's
reason
it.
I miss the villains is because they made me horny.
no, the thing is
Uh,
that I think about is literally my favorite Disney characters have all been the bad guys, like Ursula. Ursula is probably my favorite Disney character, period.
Yeah.
And
mhm.
I fucking love her.
See
And
my
I think
last
she
comment.
fucking rules. And like if anyone here has somehow gotten this far in life without seeing like Ursula's grand entrance into the Little Mermaid, I recommend you go look it up and you watch it because like the charisma is coming off of her in tsunami waves, and you just don't give a shit about Ariel in that moment. Ursula's so
Uh,
good. I have sat
yeah.
and watched Ursula's entire opening bit and opening song on YouTube,
Spike, did
repeating the fucking line for line dialogue from her in front of my husband.
Spike, did you ever? I can't remember if you ever got around to watching Princess and the Frog.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good. Just wanted to know.
It's like, you've got your looks. your pretty face.
Yes,
And
we
never
do.
forget
We
the
do.
importance
We do
of
all remember the
body
movie. Thank you.
language.
Thank you.
Anyway, she's good.
But yeah, no, the villains have all the best parts.
They
Um,
do.
but yeah, so like I don't mind misunderstanding and personal growth. I just also want stories with villains.
Yeah,
Here's the
that's
thing.
so.
There
I
are. Oh no! Keep talking. Keep talking.
it's just so why can't I have both? Why do we have to make a blatant rule? Like
Yeah,
like
porque no los dos.
yeah.
It
I,
just.
I think some stories are just better without a villain, and for example, I'm super glad that I know the fucking name. I know what this movie's called. Encanto. I'm glad it didn't have a villain. It
I
it
have
would have
not
been a
seen.
completely different movie, and I'm glad it didn't have one.
I have not seen.
But then there was
Encanto.
ones like Frozen, which I'm like, this movie is fucking suffering for not having an antagonist that you give any shits about.
Mhm.
This
And
like,
I should note, I am sitting here.
if they had just taken
drawing-
all, it was one of those things where you should have just committed one way or the other. Had a genuine villain or no villain at all. This could have been one of your misunderstanding movies. It would have been fine.
And I should note, I'm sitting here drawing a comic that kind of technically has no villain as well. So I mean, it's you can just make shit without, muahaha, crack of lightning people. Absolutely.
Well, the
But
thing
like
is,
having a philosophy where you decide you're never going to do that deprives the world of more potential Ursulas, and that makes me sad.
or you just make those Ursulas the protagonists.
God, like they ever were.
That's what I'm doing. I'm just saying.
I mean, that's kind of what they were trying to do with Wreck-It Ralph.
What was it?
Not really, no.
Yeah,
He's not the same kind of character. And that movie
he's
has
not
a
the
villain
same type of character, but he is the quote
who
unquote villain
rocks.
of the video game, and it's all about like villains have feelings too.
Oh, kind of, but he's not. But the theme is also he's not actually a villain. He just has a job that he does.
Yeah.
Because there is a genuine villain in that movie. He's a bad person and he rocks.
Who's the villain in Wreck-It Ralph?
Yes, you want a spoiler, Spike?
Yeah.
Amanda, I will throw you across this room.
Spike wants a spoiler.
Okay, well,
I'm literally never gonna watch it.
What about our precious audience, Spike?
So Spike,
Amanda,
Wreck-It Ralph goes to several video games to find a video game where his skills are valued.
I mean,
and one of the last place he goes to is a candy race car game.
Where the little girl
the
is,
king
sure.
of the candy race car game, world is actually a character from a video game that was about to get unplugged because it wasn't popular.
Nope.
So what he invaded this game.
That is not what happened. He did a thing called going turbo, which is a no-no in that world, where you leave your game and infect other games. That's what got his game taken away.
Oh.
Yeah, they took it away because it was causing problems. It wasn't because it wasn't popular. Going turbo is a no-no.
I thought it was getting less popular.
I don't remember
anyway,
that detail. I just do remember that's why his game got taken away, and that's why it's a big no-no, and you shouldn't do that. And that's why when Rec leaves and he's playing in other games and he's quote-unquote going turbo, everyone flips the fuck out. Like, oh my god, he's going to get us unplugged.
Because if you leave the game, then the rest of the game breaks. So...
Okay, it was both. Thank you, Kristen.
Yeah, so it's his game was getting less popular, so he left his game, and that broke his game.
Well, he also left. That wasn't just the reason he left his game. He was also left his game because he's a piece of shit and he was looking for thrills.
Yeah, yeah.
This is important because there's like parallels between him and Ralph.
Yeah, so it's basically he invaded another race car game and altered the code so people thought the main character of the game wasn't the main character he was.
And that's a little girl.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So he's the villain.
Wait,
Uh,
wait. So you alter the code so you're the main character and not the main character. Here's the thing: if I sat down to play Mario Galaxy and some dude I never saw before was suddenly the main character, I'd probably notice.
One, Spike, this is an arcade machine. So
Okay.
some people may only play this one arcade machine. Two, it is not uncommon to have custom arcade machines.
Okay. Okay. Seems a little that's a little hard for me to buy as a
Spike,
person who spent many hours in an
Spike,
arcade
these
as
are
a
about
child.
video game characters who travel via a power surge protector. That
I
is how
just
they interact with
I
each other.
understand. I understand you're doing the whole it's a
Sonic the
cartoon,
Hedgehog
knock it
lives in the
off
surge
thing.
protector where they all
I
meet up and hang out.
I get what you're doing right now. I am just saying.
But also, real world, having a arcade game that is a one-off from others is not that uncommon, especially if it's like there are custom arcade games out there.
Hmm.
And
Okay,
there's also
fair
plenty
enough.
of people whose only arcade they ever visit is the local one, and they would have no reason to go beyond that and go, wait a second, this is different.
it's also a racing game, so like, yes, you would notice if Mario wasn't in a Mario game, but would you notice if the main character of California Cruising wasn't there?
Well, no, the main
Actually,
character's
yes.
no. But here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. The main character's still there. She's just a designated. Well, no, actually, no, that's right. She was kind of removed from the roster, and he took her place. Never mind. Ignore me.
I mean, I'm happy to take your word for it.
Um, I'm just saying. I think it would. But also like, it was a new game, so like,
Oh, okay.
it was a fairly new game, and but
Mhm.
one of my favorite things is like character design wise, they kind of give away like that the king character is like, why isn't he like rendered like all the other characters in this game are like cute children with like big old
Mhm.
eyes, and then you have this one guy who's like looks like a
An
cereal
a
box
goofy
mascot.
old man.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
looks like he
Mhm.
wants to sell me like Rice Krispie treats or something. He's got that character
Okay.
design, and it's like,
Okay.
why is he here? Oh, because he's not supposed to be here. Okay.
Okay.
Um.
The guy who does the
So.
voice for Wreck-It Ralph
Yeah.
is Dr.
Uh-huh.
Steve Brule on the Tim and Eric show.
Yes.
Yes.
So whenever I see like Wreck-It Ralph like clips and stuff, I just picture Dr. Steve Brule saying them.
He's also in the Chicago musical.
He sure is. He sure is. And one of my favorite things about him is he is like a graduate of a really prestigious drama school, like really, really prestigious. And there were a series of Adult Swim bumpers like making fun of that. Like, and now he picks his nose on Cartoon Network.
Because he went to a really serious drama school, the reason why he got the part in Chicago is he already knew all the words to that song, and he just recorded himself doing it and sent it in.
Abby, her. I know they don't mention whether she was unlockable or not, but one of the reasons they hit her is because her like existing fucked up the game because she got removed from it. It was the whole thing. She couldn't be in the
Oh.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about
Anyway,
it.
Wreck-It Ralph also has a fucked up message that's you have a role in the society and you should accept it.
Now, is Wreck-It Ralph a Pixar movie or a Disney movie?
It's a Disney movie, I believe.
No, I don't think that's the fucking message, Kel. I think it was like his job was more like as an actor, and he played the bad guy, but he was still treated like the bad guy during like off the clock. I don't really think that's more of a
This is one of those things like it is The Incredibles promoting libertarianism.
Yes, it is. No, all right.
Yeah,
okay. No, fuck. God, we could have like a long conversation about The Incredibles. But one of the things that has cleared up a lot of questions I've personally had about sort of first wave Pixar, let's refer to it as first wave Pixar, is that I think like literally the first 5 movies Pixar made were all come up with over a lunch by 3 middle-aged white dads. And when I
I
learned that, I was like,
I have Googled it, and
oh,
Wreck-It Ralph is indeed a Disney movie.
Yeah.
okay.
Um,
All right, but I'm talking about like, The Incredibles and stuff.
y-
And The Incredibles having I mean, The Incredibles is not subtle. It has messages about how society will take it's kind of almost Randian on its
yes.
and it's one of those things where it's a fun, cute movie when you're watching it, but then like occasionally someone will say something, you'll be all like, "Hold up."
So, so here's the thing about Incredibles
Mhm.
and Brad Bird in general.
Uh-oh, here it comes.
It's not that it's promoting libertarianism. It's Brad Bird wants you to know that he is a special boy because he is an artist, and people who don't appreciate artists are fools. And every single movie that he has made,
Mhm.
except for maybe The Iron Giant, is about how people just don't appreciate the special people, and
There is that,
that they're
yeah.
fools for not appreciating the special people. And it's really just him repeating, "Fuck you, mom and dad, I'm gonna make a living drawing pictures," over and over again. But in The Incredibles, because he makes it a society syndemic thing, it
Mhm.
turns into libertarianism.
To be
But
fair, that's my career too.
right, well, so that's why I'm saying this is like, it's not intentionally promoting it, but it gets there because he expanded his "fuck you, mom and dad, I'm gonna make a living drawing pictures" to his
Mhm.
society-wide movement.
Mhm.
But Ratatouille has the same message
Uh-huh.
of "I am special and creative and you just don't appreciate it."
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so
And you
that's
know
his
what? To
MO.
be fair, I do believe, especially in this current environment, I do believe people who are professional creatives are violently undervalued, and people pretend that art does not significantly improve their lives with its mere presence every single fucking day. They pretend that, and they, quite frankly, you do not want to live in a world without professional artists. You just fucking don't. Whether you think you do or you think you don't. Trust me. And I think that people who make life bearable in that way are undervalued by society in a major way. But at the same time, I think that sort of making art, you do not want, I'm talking to two fucking artists here, so I know y'all know
What?
what I mean.
Yeah.
Making art this sort of mystical, magical process that is like waving a wand, and art nouveau vines spring up from the page, and we're all covered in starlight and glitter, and oh, look at the magic we can make. Aren't we special little, little creatures, little fairies dancing among the daffodils, and artists are magical and special. I think that's also extreme bullshit. I think
How fucking
one of
dare
the
you?
Yeah.
things that the
I am a
mystification
fae. Thank you very
of
much.
the artistic process has brought
Uh,
us are these like AI bros who are over here like,
uh,
haha, now I have stolen your magic gem, fairy, and I can
No,
conjure
my
your magic.
gem!
And it's like, no,
uh,
dude, literally, there's a I'm on Blue Sky a lot
uh,
these days. I've basically abandoned Twitter. I'm on Blue Sky, and there is a quote that has been going around Blue Sky that everyone's re-skeeting, and myself included, that is all.
God, I hate that.
You it's like, no, there is no barrier to becoming an artist, you fucking moron. It came free with your fucking humanity. And that's
There
pretty
are
much
some
where I am.
barriers, though.
There are barriers. Everyone has barriers of all kinds. But like
uh,
I
Frida
just, yeah,
Kahlo with her freshly amputated leg and permanently broken back, painted from her bed. Matisse had massive rheumatoid arthritis and had to have the paintbrush placed
I
in
do
his
understand
hand.
overcoming adversity, but I do
Yeah.
also think on some level, no, there are some people who can't even start.
yeah.
I would
It
be
I
very
it takes time, and no people. Some people genuinely
the
do not even have
barrier
time.
I do not
the
believe art takes
barrier
time.
the
What?
barrier to art is capitalism.
Yes.
That's
The
true.
buried art is
And
capitalism, but I think, Amanda, what you're talking about specifically is technically accomplished art in the traditional sense,
No,
which
I mean
takes
it
years
takes
of practice.
no, I think it takes time out of your day to be able to sit down and put time for yourself and your art. Even just
Doodling a stick
drawing,
figure, in my mind, is something anyone can do at any time unless they are so severely disabled that they're not even self-aware anymore.
or they're just that fucking busy and
I have
Like-
yet to meet anyone so busy they couldn't doodle a stick figure.
I mean, they have to choose how they spend their free time, and sometimes I have to choose the one my kids can also engage in.
To be fair, I also choose to draw. I am also incredibly busy, and I find the
All
time
I'm
to do
saying-
a doodle maybe once a month.
Okay, cool. I'm just saying there's like single moms out there working 3 jobs, and sometimes their free time
They're
is
tired.
not going to be doodling.
I see. I get that. But at the same time, if they were rabidly determined to draw a stick figure at some
I
point during the
also-
month, I think they'd manage it.
So both of your points are true,
Yeah.
but people defending AI art are not the single moms with 3 jobs.
No,
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 they really
I do
aren't.
understand that. And literally the only reason I brought it up because I said I just don't think that that's outright true. That's all. There's
And
lots
by the
of
way,
reasons.
I'd just like to point out, everyone, really quickly. I'd like to point out, I got a letter from BackerKit today.
Raise your voice,
and-
please.
The letter from BackerKit said, just so you know, we're not allowing any of that AI shit on the platform. And I was very happy to get that letter.
Cool.
Anyway, so there's
We are celebrating the bare minimum, but I'll take it. Yay!
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck can we even expect anymore? You know?
Yeah.
so but Kristen Cheney had a great comment that I didn't want to pass by.
Uh-huh.
I told you most of Brad Bird's movies, except for maybe Iron Giant, are about how he's a special creative boy and you should appreciate him. Kristen Cheney came in and said, the Iron Giant is about what if the gun who killed his sister had feelings and didn't want to kill his sister.
Brad Bird's sister or the main character's sister? I'm sorry.
Brad
Brad
Bird's
Bird. There was no
sister.
sister in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen Iron Giant. Apologies. I did not know Brad Bird had a dead sister. I'm sorry to hear that.
I'll pass that info along.
Shut up.
Yeah, I'll let him know. Yeah, so that's why I just think when The Incredibles being pro-libertarianism comes up, like I think of the fact like no, he just wants you to know that he's a special boy.
It's also worth noting there are other writers usually involved too.
Yeah.
But that follows the theme of his other work.
No, I get that,
he's
but
a
like
special boy.
that could also be where the differences come in too. Like there are other writers, and like changes are made by borders and stuff. Like shit happens. It's not always like this one dude's vision from start to finish. Sometimes that's in a good, sometimes in a good way, sometimes in a bad way. Sometimes that guy, it was like, no, you had a gem here. Why are you smearing it in poop? Take it to the people who watched the poop off it. And other times it's, they're painting my diamonds.
By the time you get to the point where it's a singular vision and everyone except for, all right, here's the,
oh no.
Okay, there are like 2 versions of the whole, a person in Hollywood is making a film or TV show or what have you, and it's a singular vision, unsullied by input from anyone else. And that comes in 2 flavors, Martin Scorsese and Neil Breen. Those are the 2 flavors that comes in. It's like there's
I
no
don't know who Neil Breen is.
Spike!
Oh my god! Kel, I'm about to make your world so much better.
I mean, you might not.
No, this is an across the board improvement on Kel's life.
You need to tailor your expectations based on your friends' preferences. This might do nothing for Kel.
No. Okay, so are you aware of Tommy Wiseau in The Room?
Yes.
Imagine someone even more clueless, and you have Neil Breen. Neil Breen is a real estate developer out of Las Vegas who writes, produces, directs, and stars in his own films. And they are so astonishingly awful that they're perfect. He is a modern day Plan 9 from Outer Space guy, whatever his name is. Shit. Fuck. Um he's incredible. He's so it's so
Ed
terrible.
Wood?
It's yes, he's a modern day Ed Wood, except he has an ego that is like 50 times bigger than Ed Wood's ever was. Because
Okay,
Mhm.
Spike.
Yes.
This does nothing for me. I do not
Yeah.
watch bad movies for fun.
Oh my god. Like there's this
I
movie.
hello,
I
baby girl.
don't I there's only so much time on this world. I'm not going to waste it. I haven't seen The Room and I'm never going to see The Room.
Have you ever like heard of these fanfics where a person creates a character that is clearly an idealized self-insert, and that person
Yes,
is
I am
perfect,
aware of the Mary
perfect,
Sue.
perfect in every way, just perfect in every way. That is what
Yes.
Neil Breen does with film, and it's so good. It's so good. He has both Jesus and an alien at the same time, who like
Make up your mind, cat.
automatically it's like he's Jesus and an alien at the same time, who induces every evil politician in America to commit suicide simultaneously on TV after tearful apologies and at the podium. And he also like hacks the world with like 5 laptops at the same time. It's so fuck I don't want to say cartoonish, because that like degrades cartoons, but that's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
again, people watching this might be interested in that. That is not for Kel.
Neil Breen is amazing, and he just won't stop. And
It's
he
also
lacks,
not for me.
in my opinion, Tommy Wiseau made The Room, and he got his feelings hurt by the reaction to it. So he has like kind of learned from the experience to not make The Room again. Neil Breen cannot be taught. He cannot learn. He keeps doing it, and that's what makes him so perfect and delightful. He's fucking.
Ravioli, make up your mind. Are you a lap cat, or are you going to stand on my boobs and hurt them?
He's gonna do everything. He
Ravioli.
has made. Oh my god. Oh my. Oh god. He has a new one. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Calm thyself.
I'm so
So
excited. He has a new one.
when I think of director singular vision, I think of the Alien prequels. Because those are like super unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
But they're just full of the shit the director cares about and is like fascinated with, but is not actually like cohesively tied together.
Oh, Ravioli, you're so sweet.
To the point while watching it where I was sitting there like, he could have tied this together and still like put in his like proclivities, but like he was so into his thing that he wasn't even thinking that way. So in the Alien prequel Prometheus, there's the crew is in stasis and a robot is like alone on the ship. And the robot is watching Lawrence of Arabia because the director likes Lawrence of Arabia and old classic movies.
Make up your mind, cat.
But they're looking for God in space.
Yeah.
So if the robot's gonna watch a classic movie while alone, he should be watching like the Ten Commandments or something. You can still have him watching a classic movie and make that reference that you like, but have it like thematically tie in. But like the director was so in their zone that they didn't even like put that second level of thought.
Nudist, I also hate Prometheus. I can't even be funny about it. I genuinely hate that film.
It's not a good movie. I'm just saying like that's a thing where it's like I understand why these things are here. It's because it's all the things that the director's obsessed with.
And there are
So
so many like little elements that like when you think about them, it's like you're building a little Lego brick tower. And you know, you go into Prometheus with an open mind, and then it just keeps showing you little bricks of Lego that you add to your little tower of hate. And by the time you're like 2/3 through, you're like, this sucks. This fucking sucks.
so fun
Because
thing.
he's like obsessed with like fallen empires, and he's not commenting on why these empires fell. He's just like, hey, here's an empire and it fell. And like there's no like second layer of conversation. He's just like, this
Uh-huh.
is cool.
Yeah.
And um so when I think of like directors where no one's getting in their way, yes, there are the Martin Scorseses of the world, but there's also the Ridley Scotts making Prometheus. Like,
And there's also another variety I failed to consider before, which is Matt and I are big fans of this. The movie where clearly kind of like no one cared. You know, it's like it was clearly a movie that was made out of obligation on some level, like to maintain ownership of an option or something.
sometimes those movies can be fucking great.
They
Gremlins
can
2
be.
is so much better than Gremlins 1
Liar.
because it is the it no, it is
Liar.
because it's all just about how
Am I
this is a
muted?
corporate cash in and
No.
capitalism
Okay.
is horrible, and how can we crank everything up to 90 bazillion because that's what capitalism's ultimate goal is.
But I just it's like there are movies out there where it's clear. It's just like people punching the clock and going to work and coming
Yeah.
back and leaving like not thinking at all. Like turning in the script, there were no notes. They just went with whatever the guy turned in. When they hired people, it's like they were like, how much do you want was the primary consideration. When they shot, the primary consideration was, let's just get this shot fucking over with. I don't care if the light is wrong. I don't care if there are continuity errors. I don't care if it's raining and the shot calls for it to not be raining. Let's just get the fucking shot done. And then they just throw that at somebody, and the person, you know, what they're doing couldn't even be dignified with the term editing, and then they just throw it out the door. And even the studio knows it's garbage, but they still run with it because they gotta, for whatever reason. I think those are also the kind of films where kind of like no one's in the way.
So, fun fact about Prometheus.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it with my family, having never seen any of the Alien movies. Because I didn't watch the Alien movie till like, what was it, like 5 years ago?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So,
Corey yelled at me for looking up spoilers while we watched the movie.
well, it was one of those things where I watched it and then I was like, oh, that was all pretty neat. And then all the stuff that I thought was neat was pointed out. I was like, oh, that's just an alien thing. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The thing that I probably, and I know this is like nerd rage, and I know it's stupid and pointless, and no one fucking asked, but like the thing that was most deeply disappointing to me about Prometheus is everyone who has watched Alien knows about the space jockey. Everybody loves the space
I
jockey.
do now.
The space jockey is cool and mysterious, and it's like it set the perfect tone for the opening of that film, that you are wandering into territory you do not understand and you will not understand. So just here we go. And like that was like the perfect fucking mood to set. The space jockey set that perfectly. You don't know what that is. You don't know what that thing he's on is. You don't know how any of this got here.
It's a recumbent bicycle.
And Prometheus just kind of walked up and went, "He's a big blue guy." I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Get redacted now. No, the space jockey is not just a big blue guy. Fuck you for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely fuck you for that.
I also watched Covenant after watching Prometheus.
Uh-huh.
And
Is that
Covenant,
the one with the human hybrid?
No.
Okay.
Covenant came out right after Prometheus.
Oh, okay, okay.
So Michael Fassbender's robot is in Covenant as well as an upgraded model of Michael Fassbender's robot, and they
Mhm.
make out. And I think more movies should have Michael Fassbender make out with himself. Um,
As one does.
and that's really my only comment on the Covenant. More movies should have Michael Fassbender make out with
Yeah.
Why
himself.
are you being a little freak,
Um,
ma'am?
It's just like I also think this is not an original, new, or insightful observation at all, and I acknowledge that. But I think Alien singular is a
mhm,
really good horror movie because the
mhm,
people who go into seeing Alien initially, like the people who went to originally see Alien, they had no fucking clue what they were fucking looking at. And that was kind of like the most perfect Alien could have ever hoped to
Yeah.
be. It was
and I
like
think
this
that's
idea.
why it's smart that the sequel was an action movie rather than a horror movie, because since you
Yes.
already know what the alien is,
Yeah.
you can't make
Yeah.
it scary. So veering into an action movie was a good idea
Are
And
you
I
for a
kind of
okay?
think
sequel.
that's the inevitable
Mhm,
fate of horror movies that do well, that have a monster,
mhm,
because so much of horror is not understanding what's going on and not knowing how to protect yourself. Like that's the
mhm,
heart of horror to me. And th- hi ravioli. Like a really cool part of Alien is all these people who
Honey.
don't have shit to go on trying to figure out what this thing on the ship with them is. And I fucking love that.
mhm.
That's so good. And the fact that, they're being really practical
Don't
about
eat
it
the
is really good
microphone,
too. They're
ma'am.
like teenagers at the lake making out. They're just like, are we getting hazard pay for this? It's like it's that's so fucking cool and
So
realistic
I
and
I lied. I do have one other comment about
Yeah, it
Covenant.
is really funny when my
Um,
avatar meows.
yeah.
uh, uh, Covenant, again, it's Ridley Scott letting you know about all the things that he's obsessed with and fixated on.
Sure.
And um, I think probably accidentally does an interesting idea.
It's
Because
not interesting on purpose, certainly.
I no, because this is the thing, because he didn't put that second layer of thought, so this has to be an accident. Um, like if he's not putting enough thought into the movie to think that this movie about finding God in space he should watch 10 Commandments instead of Lawrence of Arabia. Like if he can't make that connection, then he definitely didn't make this one. Um, so the movie opens with Michael Fassbender's robot,
Uh-huh.
who's also in Prometheus,
Mm-hmm.
talking to his creator, who is capitalistic asshole,
Right.
um, and his whole upbringing and what he knows about the world, he learned from the viewpoint of his creator, who's obsessive capitalistic asshole.
Right.
And in Covenant, it is revealed that the xenomorphs, as we know them,
Mm-hmm.
are Michael Fassbender robot tweaking the genes of the alien in the Prometheus movie to make the quote unquote perfect being. And as someone whose only experience being brought up is all capitalism all the time, he makes a being that can only consume and expand at infinite growth. That is accidentally interesting.
Yeah, I suppose that is accidentally interesting.
Conclusion. Also, my headphones just died, so if you're responding to me, I cannot hear you. Give me a moment to switch them.
Yeah, okay.
It's time to spill my heart, reveal all my
Yeah.
secrets.
Do it, Amanda. Hurry while you have time.
I've
You're
realized
losing
I
your
have no
chance.
secrets. Shit!
Oh.
Not any dark, interesting secrets. Boring secrets.
Yeah, those are the best kind.
Netflix password secrets.
Oh no, no, no! Don't share those.
I'm
You'll get
not
your
going
account taken
to.
away. Yeah.
I can hear you now.
Hooray!
Okay, good, because I was about to share some secrets I definitely shouldn't have.
Liar.
All right. So yes, I don't know if you responded to what I was saying about
Oh,
the
mostly just
accidental.
I said that
grunts of
sounded
agreement.
neat.
Grunts of agreement.
Yeah. I doubt that that was intentional. Um,
Accidentally clever, sure.
yeah. So accidentally clever. I'm kind of fascinated by things that are accidentally clever. Um, Anyone who has known me for a long period of time has heard me talk about The Order, the Netflix original series that trips over interesting ideas and then slides them in the corner so it can continue its not very good ideas.
Okay. Speaking of
Uh,
oh,
Nope,
Okay.
continue.
I was gonna go. Speaking of streaming stuff, I have actually begun watching. I have not watched much at all, but I've begun watching Tales from the Loop on Amazon Prime, and the first episode is really fascinating, and I feel comfortable discussing it because it's like it's been out for a while. It's got like 3 seasons, so I'm okay with talking about episode 1, season 1, and it does a thing which I really, really fucking love. In the first episode, it's kind of establishing the mood. All right, for folks who don't know, Tales from the Loop
Me, I'm
is
folks who don't know.
is based on the illustrations of an artist named Simon Stahlbarg. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And Simon makes these really funky, fascinating painted pieces of kind of like this 80s world that's alternate universe and full of all of this mysterious machinery that is inexplicable. And somebody straight up turned that into a TV show. And in the world of Tales from the Loop, his work, it's fascinating because number one, the show has the palette of his art, which is really cool. But the thing that they've decided to sort of solidify a plot around is it's kind of like a Los Alamos sort of country town where a whole bunch of really intelligent people have been coalesced into this one town that's out on the edge. There's some funky shit going on where there are no police. You know what I mean? There's no authority figure you would expect in a normal American town. So it's kind of this self-governing enclave of super geniuses who all work underground on, dot 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 the loop. And because of this, weird shit happens sometimes. And the show doesn't do a lot to explain the weird shit, which is just how I like it. I am totally happy with stuff being inexplicable. But some of the things I really like about the show so far are things like a little girl is walking home from school and she looks over and there is a straight up fucking robot watching her from the woods. And it's just kind of like looking at her. It's not threatening, it's just looking at her. And she just acts like this is no big deal and goes home. She's all like, oh, one of those again, and goes home. I fucking love that because it tells you this is like normal shit for her. And like later on, she comes across a little boy in the woods who is throwing rocks at the robot. And she's like, don't fucking do that. That's mean. And he's like, no, if you hit the eye, it's good luck. And she's like, no, it's not doing anything to you. Leave it alone. And I just think that's really cool that like this thing that like a lesser show would try and make malevolent, and dangerous and sort of scary. No, it's literally just there are robots that walk around town and nobody has a decent explanation why there are robots just fucking walking around town. And I love that. Another one is there is a man we see in a house and he's getting dressed for work and he has the funkiest prosthetic arm you ever fucking saw. And he's just putting a shirt on. And he is a minor character, and that arm is never explained. And I fucking love that. It's just so good. It gives you a great idea of like where you are. You are in this town where this shit just goes down and it's totally normal to everyone. I love that.
Nice.
I've been watching Atlanta,
Uh-huh.
which sometimes gets real weird, in a good way.
How so?
there's an episode where one of the characters, it goes to a house where there's been an advertisement that there's a free piano if you come pick it up. Obviously because that's a hard thing to move. So the person just wants someone else to take it. Like, you can have it if you come pick it up.
Sure.
And they get there, and it is a guy. The guy who owns the house is not Michael Jackson, is the best way to describe him.
Okay.
Because he is so fucking weird. Like, he calls the character to sit in the parlor with him and asks him if he would like to enjoy a soft-boiled ostrich egg with him. And then starts to tell him that the piano belonged to his brother, who is a famous musician. The character then looks at like photos on the piano of what's clearly a black guy playing piano. And then they're like, oh, I listen to his music, and I'm a big fan. Like, this is his piano. Like, did he die? I'm sorry for your loss. And he goes, oh no, he lives here with me. Oh, can I meet him? No, he's very sick. Okay. And then he goes and wanders. The Michael Jackson guy who owns the house goes upstairs and leaves the guy who came to pick up the piano in the first floor, and like won't tell him where the piano is for him to like get it and put it in the U-Haul that he rented. And there's also like the famous singer. He never heard about this singer having a brother, so he thinks maybe like the guy is his brother, but made that up to like made up a new identity when he like had all the plastic surgery to look white. So it's so fucking weird. Like, it's just him trying to get this fucking piano. And the episode I just watched is the female lead has been living in France, and one of her friends from Atlanta recognizes her, and she puts on a French accent and acts like she has lived in France her whole life and that her English isn't that good, and takes them on this, like, lets her friend from Atlanta tag along as she goes to Alexander Skarsgård's hotel room and frames him for having cocaine. Like, she sprinkles like cocaine on his hotel room bed and puts some meth on
the character.
Yes, the actor. Playing. They really got him to guest star in the episode. Yeah,
that's who's Alexander Skarsgård.
My fucking brain like stopped for a moment. I was like, wait, he's an actor.
Of what?
He's an actor. He was in True Blood, and more recently he was in like The Northman. He was also recently in Succession. So he's a tall Swedish guy. So that's all you need to know. And he apparently has a great sense of humor about himself, because she puts cocaine in his hotel room and some meth in his hotel room, and then tells the concierge that he's high on drugs and she needs to call the police because he might OD, and like causes a big scandal for him. And then later in the episode, he tracks her down, and he's like, how dare you fuck with me? And then she spits in his face, and then he goes into the bathroom and masturbates because he has been humiliated by her.
Oh, God!
And then it turns out that she's working as a chef for a cannibal restaurant. and so all like the whole episode she's been picking up random
Oh
packages
god,
and
I
it
have to go
turns out
turn
they're
Slack
human
off. Give me a
hands.
second. Sorry, everybody, for the noises.
The packages she's been getting all episode are human hands, and her friends are mortified and run out of the restaurant when they realize what's being served. And just as they're leaving, Alexander Skarsgård comes back and he goes, "All right, I'm fucking hungry. Give me them fingies." It's a weird show. But in a good way.
Weird. I have not watched Atlanta, but to be fair, I watch so little fiction these days because I'm a piece of garbage, and a lot of what I watch, I'm about to fucking descend into the hell mines. And
yeah, sorry, Matt. I forgot to pause Slack notifications for the
no,
stream.
I just shared a little something with you folks. So if you want to go look at it,
no,
in the
I'm
random
doing this.
Channel. Okay, if you don't want to look in the random channel,
Absolutely.
it'll be there.
I already looked.
Oh, okay.
I just don't. I'm like, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. Now you care, do you? Anyway, anyway.
So yeah,
anyway.
so
Only took 15 years.
Fucking weird.
But yeah, what I was going to say, what I'm watching these days, because I am like literally dumpster juice. What I am watching is IRL highlights. And if you don't know what that is, there is a cesspool on Twitch called IRL streaming. And all it is normal, air quotes, people walking around with their streaming rig on like a selfie stick or whatever, and just going around doing stuff. And you're all like, wow, that sounds incredibly boring. Here's the thing. For most people doing that, it probably would be pretty boring. But most IRL streamers who are notable are actual fucking sociopaths. And it's not, and I'm not talking like in a way where they're like going around hurting other people. They focus a lot of their weird, hateful rage on one another. And a lot of them have extremely major substance abuse problems they refuse to do anything about, and really fucked up interpersonal relationships with each other. And the human brain, which is like a step away from being a fucking chimp brain, I think we can all agree, has already kind of only been optimized to deal with at maximum 200 other humans ever at one time. And you cannot imagine how hideous a relationship can get where a random person can anonymously message your best friend who has just been through an entire bottle of Jägermeister and say, I will give you $500 right now if you smash his guitar. And he'll do it. And then there'll be a massive fist fight where at least one of you will piss yourself on stream. And then the cops will come and you'll have to talk the cops out of arresting both of you. And then someone will just start crying and vomiting in the living room. And that is IRL streaming.
Yeah, I can't watch that.
And I can't get fucking enough of it.
That shit will just...
Imagine what has happened lately. I can't even, like, this is true. Everything I'm about to say is true. An IRL streamer's ex-girlfriend, who is also an IRL streamer, her fiance has died. And their first move was to start a stream where people pay $5 a go to abuse them via text-to-speech. So can you imagine your fiance is dead and your first move, and they know this is going to happen because they know their audience and they know this environment, is to go on this stream and hear like that robot voice that's like, you know, that girl who talks like this. Like we all know that robot voice saying things.
They're
like,
not that chipper.
Well, you know, those it was like, he's probably glad to be free of you. You are such a whore. Your body count is probably 3 digits. And like, this is what you're listening to. Mourning your freshly deceased fiance. It's unfucking thinkable.
Which is why
And it's
I
like this is
can't. I can't.
yeah, yeah, honestly, I would never recommend it to you, Amanda, because I know this kind of thing is a horror to you, but I can't get enough of it.
Anyway, like I sent you a picture of Alexander Skarsgård wearing a leash to some publicity event.
Good for him.
Ravioli's
That's a
back.
good look.
Hello, honey.
That'll be second.
Apparently, well, apparently, his one condition to do to imply that he has a shame fetish and is a cannibal on Atlanta. His one condition is that he wanted to dance half naked in leopard print speedo, and that also happens in the episode. So,
Well, to be fair, who doesn't want that from life?
Me.
yeah.
Amanda, you gotta reach for your dreams.
I'm not wearing a leopard print speedo.
Why not?
Because it wouldn't look good on me. There's underwear that will look good on me.
I don't believe you.
No, thank you. I know what my ass looks like, and I know what frames it best. Anyway.
Maybe it's because I'm middle-aged, but a lot of my thoughts these days are like, do I really want to be on my fucking deathbed thinking about, I never wore a leopard print speedo.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm going to have that regret spike.
Life is full of regrets. There's time.
No, not that one. Not when you.
That's actually why I'm being a fucking raging weeb these days, teaching myself Japanese, because I don't know why I feel this way, but I don't want to die monolingual. That feels tacky.
I haven't been watching really anything for a long time that isn't YouTube videos I've seen before. More for a comfort thing and a company in my apartment thing while I'm working. And it's taken me a while to realize, oh, fuck, this is depression.
You know what shit. I think you might like? Do you like those camping vids on YouTube?
What?
There's a genre on YouTube, folks, where basically a guy just takes you camping. Sometimes he has a dog.
I don't like stuff like that. I like things like video essays and stuff.
Oh, you like fucking Wendigoon and such.
I don't like Wendigoon specifically, but I do like more scripted things. I don't necessarily like to watch people goof off in the woods or whatever, because like
I have been.
It doesn't keep my attention for very long.
As far as video essays, I've been really liking Maggie Mayfish's unrated series on Nebula, which is about adult movies that she can't talk about on YouTube, which is why it's on Nebula.
Clearly.
So she like has talked about different directors and how they use sex in their movies, who's pushing the boundaries where. It's very interesting, and I dig it.
Yeah, I have been listening to a audiobook that is about cannibalism, and one of the things it covers is there is a, maybe Nudist knows something about this. There is a creature called a Sicilian, not like from the island of Sicily. It's spelled with a C-A-E, Sicilian, and they're very they are little worm-like things. And one of the things that researchers, don't even ask me how you figured out this is happening, but researchers noticed that the oviducts of a Sicilian has teeth marks in it, as if while it's being given birth to, the young of a Sicilian latch on to the inside of the oviduct and just like scrape it like fingernails down a chalkboard as they're being birthed out to get a mouthful of their mother's flesh while they're being born. And apparently this is like a real nice little peppy get up and go before they have to face the world. And with Sicilians who do not give live birth, what the mother does is lay the eggs, the babies hatch, and then they just eat her skin, like in strips. And this is how a creature that does not have mammary glands ensures the survival of its young.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. They also
Pretty cool.
talk about something I
Um,
didn't catch 100% of because I was working at the time, called uterine milk. And I'm going to have to Google that because I don't know what that
I can probably use context clues to figure that one out.
is. Uterine milk. Let's see what that
Name of my band.
is.
Ravioli, make up your mind. Do you want to be in the lap or do you
This
want
is
to
an
dance
educational
on me?
podcast.
But yeah, I just think I just need to finally fucking prioritize going to the clinic. I got the recommendation for it because it's like I was like watching different anime, I was watching different shows, I was
Mhm.
doing the thing, and then I just stopped. And it's like, why don't you finish the anime? That like I still haven't finished G Witch for Mercury, and it's like, why not? And I feel like this, like I really want to see how it ends, but then I feel this physical feeling in my body that goes, nah. And it's like, oh shit, that's depression. This year has been an interesting exercise in like recontextualizing what depression means when you're not actually stressed all the time, and learning like, oh yeah, no, it's still there even when you're not. Because before I moved to Chicago, I was stressed 24/7 because y'all know shit was rough.
Right.
And shit's been pretty chill. So now it's like, no, you still have depression. It just feels different when you're fine, quote unquote.
Chicago's pretty good, I must say. Did you ever end up going to the Ren Fair?
Yes.
Was it fun?
Yeah.
Did they have giant turkey legs?
Yeah, they always do.
How far outside Chicago is that?
It was like an hour drive.
Meh.
Spike, it's a Ren Fair.
Yeah, I know it has to be on
lots of room. Yeah.
Yeah, I consider that from time to time. I don't know. Maybe one year.
Get
maybe
in my
one
car.
year. I know, it's like maybe one year. Maybe one year.
Let's go. You know what? Baby steps. Let's plan a trip to Mitsuwa.
Mitsuwa would be fucking rad as shit. I'd love to have lunch in their little cafe there and get
I've
like
done
a
it several
gyudon.
times. We can go.
Get a gyudon or some shit.
Get
That'd
in
be
my
nice.
car. I'll clear out all the empty energy drink cans. Make room for you.
You'll just shovel them out.
Yeah, I'll do it for you. And Matt, get in my car.
And then maybe I could get one of those like nice little collapsible cooler bags and actually bring home some like nice sushi grade tuna to snack on.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. I know there's this whole thing going around, like, okay, I am like fucking ensconced in foodie internet, and for that I am deeply sorry. But one of
Kristen,
the things
you were at that Ren Fair this year?
Oh.
Ah!
Yeah. I had this
up. Ah! Throwing a table.
There's this thing going around foodie YouTube that's all like how to make sushi grade salmon and sushi grade tuna out of shit you get at Costco and shit you get at Kroger, and I'm like, I am not gonna do that. Like it's sushi grade for a reason. They have grades. If it's not sushi grade, I'm not eating it raw, bro.
Oh, it was a long time ago. Okay.
I haven't been to a Ren Fair since I was 12.
Same. This was my first one since I was a little teenage
1 to
baby.
10, how would you rate it? How much fun was it?
I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to rate it, Spike.
Do you plan on going next year?
Probably.
Okay, so it's worth repeating.
Yeah, but like everyone enjoys things differently, and I'm a people watcher. So like the people I went with had all these events they wanted to see and the stuff they wanted to buy. I kind of didn't care about the events, and I didn't really care about buying stuff except maybe this cloak I saw. But my joy, like I liked going because I just like to sit and people watch.
Sure.
And that was worth it for me. So
I could use a cloak.
So like my enjoying something isn't necessarily a endorsement.
Sure.
And I can't guarantee you would have fun because my friends had fun, but again, I don't know if you're like them.
Yeah. I do want a cloak. There is that.
Yeah, but you don't have to go to Ren Fair to get a cloak, and the cloaks are very
Ren Fairy.
No, there were some very spiked cloaks. However, the prices are often different at the Ren Fair than buying them directly from that person's Etsy.
Oh.
Sometimes it's
price gouging.
not price gougey, but more there's a cost of being at Ren Fair and selling at Ren Fair.
Mm-hmm.
So
I want
like,
another cloak, Kristen. I want a fucking summer weight cloak. I never want to be cloakless.
again, next year we can go cloak
Um,
shopping.
Spike,
Yes.
Spike, are you going to wear your cloak when you go meet famous people?
Tell out here about to do some shit. I will.
I'm just asking.
I will
wear your cloak, Spike.
Amanda. I will probably.
Am I driving
not.
us?
I don't know.
I'm not. Requisite for getting in my car. You have your cloak.
Y'all are about to fuck up so
Anyway,
bad.
No,
if
I'm
you
not.
don't stop.
I
Changing
am
the
not.
topic.
I'm
We
not
are
about
all
to do
going to
shit.
change the topic right now. It is 10:01, and let's
you know
sign
what
off.
I got in. You know what I got in the mail? That's delightful.
What?
I got Kendra's smutty real hero shit zine.
Filthy, nasty.
It's filthy and full of smut, and Annie is stepping on Eugene and has him
Good.
tied up.
Good.
It's great.
That's what the world needs.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's black and white, so I cannot confirm or deny if Eugene's jizz is purple. It might be. We don't know.
You know what? Through the power of imagination, it's whatever you want.
You could be like my brother and color every instance of blood in one of my manga.
But it is 10 o'clock, so it is time for us to say adieu. Everybody.
All right.
Thank you for coming. Sorry if I was too much tonight at varying intervals. That's just kind of how I am. I'm Spike.
I've learned to deal with it.
Yeah, Amanda's been a real trooper over the years. I can be found 99% of the time these days over on Blue Sky, where I am Iron Spike, all one word. You can also find me on, gosh, I don't know, what else? Pillow Fort, which is also Iron Spike, all one word, and on Co-host, which is also Iron Spike, all one word. I run Iron Circus, both comics, animation, and upcoming games. Please follow Iron Circus on Blue Sky and also on Twitter. That still updates pretty regularly. Otherwise, you can follow us on BackerKit and get announcements of things we will be doing that I think you will like.
I'm Kel. I make comics that you can read at kelmcdonald.com. Most of them are about gay werewolves. If you would like to join me next full moon and watch a werewolf movie, you should send me a message and I will add you to my Discord.
The secret werewolf Discord.
Next month we're gonna watch the 70s Japanese werewolf movie Wolf Guy, which I'm told is awful.
Oh, but you don't watch bad movies.
Not alone. I'm hosting. I need to find werewolf movies, and most of them are not good. When Animals Dream is the exception rather than the rule. Yeah, hit me up. I am on Twitter at Kelhound, which is spelled like Hellhound but with a K, and I am on Blue Sky as Kel McDonald. I'm on all the dumb social medias. They're all linked on my website.
We live
Find
in hell.
them there. Yeah.
I'm Amanda Lafrene on my co-host account. If you go to co-host, COHOST.org/Amanda Laugh, like haha laugh. I have a pinned post that is my Where to Find Me post. It lists all the social media I'm active on still. It lists where you can find my comics, my work, my Patreon, my coffee, my itch.io, where I do have smutty... I forget to advertise that a lot, but I do have a few smutty ebooks you can tip me and download. I've also
I
got
didn't even know that.
yeah, I got a few in there. And like even like dumb shit like Amazon wishlist for me and Ravioli and the Rats. Like it is literally this is everything. You don't have to go anywhere else. Someday there will be a website version of it, but that's the thing. That's how you find my things. If you see me on Facebook, no, you don't. Bye.
Thank you. Like and subscribe.
Bye.
Bye-bye.